The table shows the distances covered over certain counts of hours traveled by a driver driving a car at a constant speed. So for the x variable, we're given number of hours driven. For the total miles driven, we're given the y variable. So one of the points in our table, we have the point 3, 132. That means in 3 hours, the driver would have driven 132 miles. If we look at the next point, we have 4, 176. That means if the driver drives for 4 hours, he would have driven 176 miles. So, part A says write an equation that describes y, the number of miles covered, as a linear function of x, number of hours driven. So this is a linear equation, so we know we're using y equals mx plus b. For this specific situation, since you're driving a car, if you don't drive for any hours, if you drive 0 hours, you would go 0 miles. So the point 0, 0 is on our graph, so b is 0. So we really just have y equals mx, so we have to find the slope of our line. There are different ways to do it. We're going to use a method where we use 2 points on our chart. I'm going to use the first 2 points. And I'm going to find the change in x. The change in x is 4 minus 3, which is 1. And then the change in y, I'm going to subtract those y values, 176 minus 132, and I get 44. So to find the slope, I'm going to divide the change in y over the change in x. So 44 over 1, which gives me 44. So my slope is 44. So my equation is y equals 44x. Part B. Are there any restrictions on the values x and y can adopt? So here, if you think about this, the number of hours driven, you can't have negative time, so only positive numbers, and the same with the total miles driven. So here we're going to say x and y must both be positive rational numbers. And then our last part. What number does a function assign to 8? Explain what your answer means. So here, we're going to take our function y equals 44x and plug in 8 for the x. So 44 times 8 is 352. So what does this answer mean? If the car drives for 8 hours, it will travel 352 miles.